Hello, Eroas! Tonight we have a special report on the continuing recovery of Christophel and Terra Libra following the challenges of last year's upheaval. There was great excitement across the land back in March when it was announced that there will indeed be a Kingdom Day celebration again this year. This is Freedom News. Many remember last year's historic Kingdom Day, which ended with the restoration of our nation's liberties. The citizens of Christophel and Terra Libra were all relieved to hear that the celebration would go forward again this year, continuing the tradition of meeting in person for a day of training and festivities. The gathering will happen on August 26th and promises to be loads of fun for both old and young. Our reporter in the field has more on this story.
It's been a non-stop effort since last year's Kingdom Day to counteract the former chairperson's impact on the nations. The royalty have been working tirelessly to help the citizenry recover those things that were lost to them in the past year. They have been rebuilding the kingdom through service, teaching, and counseling together. In all things, they're focusing on the standards of the nations and the power they have in all our lives. Although it appears exhausting, the royal house gave us a statement earlier. They said, "Our standards are everything. We're very pleased with how quickly the citizens of our nations are turning back to them. They are at the core of who we are and what we stand for." Back to you, Ben.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. It is so amazing to see the effort and focus of both nations in trying to return to the standards we hold true and dear. It seems that the upcoming Kingdom Day festivities are just another way that the royal house is working to help the land have power and protection from the impacts of the chairperson. In other news, today is the long-awaited day that we expect to hear about noble house assignments. We now go back to Lady Amory in the field for more.
As is the tradition in Christophel and Terra Libra, the royal house, having interviewed all the noble applicants, are now sorting them into houses. This long, prayerful process produces the noble houses that will train, work, and defend our nations this year. As in years past, this process is a carefully guarded and sacred duty the royal house undertakes. It looks like they may be close to completing the assignments for this year. This is quite an exciting moment. Yes, it looks like they're signaling. No, Terra Libra's done, but there's additional deliberations with Christophel. Yes, they've completed the assignments. This is a fabulous and historic day. Let's see if we can get a comment from them. So, Princess Amy, Sir Jared, how do you feel about this year's assignments? Will they be up to the task of rebuilding our nations?
They were made for this. This is going to be an amazing year. The Huntresses and Warlord Koldar's evil plans were defeated last year, and now we have the freedom to openly assemble as noble houses. And this group of princesses, ladies-in-waiting, flag bearers, and Valkyries will be the best group we've ever had. I can't wait to work with them.
Yeah, I feel the same about the Master Knights, Squires, Pages, and Guardians of Terra Libra. This group of men is just what we need to maintain our freedom and honor and rebuild our nations better than ever. Huzzah!
After all we went through last year, we have noble houses again. This is truly going to be an epic year. Back to you, Ben.
With a list of Master Knights and Princesses just released, it's clear that Sir Jared and Princess Amy aren't exaggerating in their enthusiasm. This is an amazing group of house leaders, and I, for one, can't wait to see what they're able to accomplish. Hopefully, we'll see their houses have a quieter, more peaceful year than last year. A full list of noble house assignments will be sent to the appropriate house members later today by the royal house. It's yet another sign that goodness and virtue are alive and well in Eroas. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. It appears that we have received a video from an anonymous source with inside information about what has been happening in Gelt and the Shadowlands recently.
Forces of the Shadowland are waiting across the forest, and I, as you know, am the Huntress.
But how is that possible? As she has been terrorizing Christophel for 6 years, and I've only met you recently.
I'm myself am often surprised at life's little quirks. I was a slave to the Huntress for many years. Every night she would say to me, "Good night, good work, sleep well. I'll most likely kill you in the morning." It was a fine time for me. I was learning how to use a whip, how to bully little girls, and anything else that she would teach me. Eventually we became friends. And then,
What? Go on.
well, the Huntress had become so tired of losing all the time that eventually she wanted to retire. So she took me to her hidden lair and told me the secret. "I am not the Huntress," she said. "My name is Victoria. I inherited the Shadowlands from the previous Huntress, just as you will inherit it from me. The woman she inherited it from was not the real Huntress either. Her name was Myrtle. The real Huntress has been retired for many years and living far and away across the sea, out of Iroas, in Patagonia." Then she explained that the name was the necessary thing for inspiring fear. You see, no one would surrender to the dread villain Jennifer. So, I have been the Huntress ever since. Is everything clear to you?
Okay. Well, that is certainly interesting and unexpected. I am sure the royalty will be following up on this information. In the meantime, thank you for joining us for this broadcast of Freedom News. Good night, stay safe, and live free.